The Chicago Sky are one of the worst basketball teams I've ever seen. And today, their coach literally just waved the white flag. He quit. He literally just said, Phoenix Mercury, destroy us even more than you're destroying us right now. He basically benched all of his starters not long into the third quarter, just gave up.
Consider tuning in to observe a basketball match and unintentionally getting caught up in a live comedy roast starring Angel Reese of the Chicago Sky, and as if it were open, Camila Cardardoso benched Mike Knight as the Phoenix Mercury made the court their own. Was this a team or a game highlight reel? Phoenix's building workout because evidently, the Skies left their will to fasten your seatbelt and compete in the locker room. We're sorting through the uncertainty and turmoil, and the spectacular fall you were unable to script if you attempted.
At this point, I believe in the second quarter, at halftime, they had said that Camila Cardoso had scored 17 points. I believe she was Chicago Sky's leading scorer of the game. Again, that's not always a good thing. I love Camila down, but when you have her as the leading scorer, yeah, I ain't even gonna lie, I'm gonna put it out there. If you have Camila Cardoso or Angel Reese as being the leading scorer for our team, for Chicago Sky, just know it's a wrap. It's a wrap for us, okay? At this point, Tyler Marsh, okay, this might sound harsh, but I believe at this point he needs to be fired, along with many other players for our Chicago Sky. It's not just Tyler Marsh. It's not just a coaching issue. It's also a player issue.
Sadly, Angel entered league that exudes the confidence of a walkthrough of the pre-printed MVP acceptance speech, as if the cameras had already begun to roll for the documentary about her victory. But here we have been benched once more, twice. Now, however, at the location where the bench most likely, the cushion has an indentation. It's not even surprising that it's shaped like her. No longer.
Wow. Backups had 28 points in the fourth quarter, so they came in and played ball. But you gotta play better than that. And I don't know what it is. Is it Tyler Marsh? Is it the roster? But when you look at Cardoso, she was the leading scorer. She had 17 points, I think it was. And when she's your leading scorer, you're in trouble.
The true surprise would occur if she truly made it into the starting lineup. Without the help of God or someone's unexpected food poisoning incident, Angel, self-proclaimed Queen Reese of the league prior to ever taking home the title, has managed to turn being benched in some way. She is the poster for a performance art piece. I acquired this enthusiasm from my child. Not a single one of the on-court execution.
The Chicago Sky are 3-9 for the season, and it's no secret. Tyler knows it. Everyone knows it. This is bad.
Thank you so much.
As a person who covers the Sky daily, I'm going to give you my best version of this big picture. Now, Coach Tyler Marsh is right. These women are working hard. They come in every day. They're trying to figure it out. I know no one is content. That part is true. But what is also true is that this roster, unfortunately, was not built for success. With Courtney Vandersloot going down with the ACL injury, I just don't know how the Sky are going to weather this.
And we're not referring to a slight downer. We're discussing in-depth statistics collapse, the type of performance that prompts you to restart the simulation to check for any glitches in the universe. Coach Tyler Marsh is searching in the interim. Similar to a man reading the text and circumstances around his potential unemployment, he appears at every game as if he's coaching just to be paid for his rent, a fiery catastrophe accompanied by memes.
Hello, my Fly Happy family. It's your boy Izzy. Welcome if you're new. We have to talk about Tyler Marsh, man. We have to talk about Tyler Marsh and this one, man, releasing a crazy statement in the post-game interview. We're about to get into it, but before we do that, y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up for your boy if you like the content. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to hit 26.5, so if you can help me out with that, I highly appreciate it. And don't forget to get in the comment section and let me know what y'all think about this. Let's get it. All right, so there's this article right here, man, released. Talking about Chicago Sky coach sends strong Angel Reese message after loss to Indiana Fever.
And those L's are better to believe. The stacks in the sky aren't merely because of their awful luck. They're making Angels were there, and they were wholesale. Assisting with the coupon distribution, since if your self-marketing surpasses your stat line, there's a country mile issue. We've already stated it once. They are focused on their brand and themselves. Angels Court, Not the league or the team presence like a promotional video for Nobody greenlit the documentary series, and the games, just the background noise. Negative things happen when the coach is rotating like a circus performer and Angel is still unable to land in the starting position. 5. The choice is not solely a coaching one. The numbers on the scoreboard are yelling, and the movie is truthful, yet Angel is still acting like her out here. Instead, the jersey ought to be in the rafters. The irony of simply folding on the sideline. Does she work in the media more than basketball? If awards are given for press conferences, she would be mentioned in the MVP discussion. Sadly, Angel is discussing being such a girl does not equate to buckets, and it's not as if she will arrive. Not sitting on the bench to provide the secret sauce, she is using lost time to clock in. Defense lapses and vibrations in assignments every 6.
Angel Reese got completely exposed today, man. Y'all see how she only took 1 shot today versus the Mercury and only had 2 rebounds? This goes to show she can't get all those rebounds without taking hella shots, getting her own misses, man. You've been completely exposed today, bricklaying sloth. Completely. When you ain't taking all these shots and missing all these goddamn layups and shit, you can't get your rebounds. So your rebounds go down.
And that might even be acceptable. Acceptable if the Sky and Chicago weren't there, the squad, yet they're circling the drain. Is falling apart more quickly than a house of Coach Marsh and cards during a hurricane he's stuck attempting to glue everything together, along with prayer beads and duct tape. The resignation in his eyes is evident. It's full-on not focused. The existential fear that he is aware of the Wolves are donning Sky and are at the door. Angel's largest jerseys donation thus far. Well, that's the drama, since if you believed this the goal of the season was to win, you had to fail to notice that the brand is authentic. Here, the court serves only as the stage for the goods. And without a little, what's performance? Anarchy now, it's not about placing the team behind you. It's about placing. Selling a t-shirt with your face on it, $40. Angel's tangible evidence that the time of the idea of team first has been pushed in favor of solitary in a dusty closet. There are fewer actions and camera-ready tantrums. We're over me, and I'm more myself, and I perhaps an appearance on a podcast. Let's not act as though this is a singular incident. Either she has had enough bench time because the Pinewood is essentially monogrammed, and the excuses are always encounter less severe fatigue matchup issues. Defense tactic. Simply state that she isn't when you play well. You don't maintain your alleged franchise player on the sidelines during a game that must be won, unless she is acting as though she has an allergy to rebounding and intolerant of responsibility.
They need more balance. I keep screaming that Chicago need much more balance. Should Tyler Marsh be fired? I don't know, but he got to come up with some answers. And they do have a roster problem. Because what is it? Player issue. We looking at Rebecca Allen had 2 points in 17 minutes, and Haley Van Lith at 4 points in 21 minutes.
And that's what completes this. Every circumstance feels like a sitcom. A new benching is introduced in this episode. Viral moment. A new quotation regarding how she is misinterpreted, and in some way, enhancement eventually. Even the most devoted followers begin to question whether she's truly about this life of basketball, or if the league was merely an additional destination on the Influencer Global Tour. In the interim, Camila Cardoso is most likely sitting close by, pondering whether she moved into the incorrect reality show. She did not attend the ball. Angel Reese Chronicles guest star, and whether Chicago has any chance at all. To avoid turning into a full-fledged meme factory, they may wish to think about who are the players who are here to grind, are only present for the cameras and the atmosphere. Angel doesn't say it all, according to the bench. Appear irritated or resolute, unconcerned, as if it's not her issue that the national team is losing its mind. TV, and perhaps it's not if we're being honest. Perhaps she has already checked out. getting ready for her next brand in her mind, collaborating or making headlines, because being seen is more significant than really being efficient and successful. That's optional. But Coach Marsh is not in possession of the convenience of his works, essentially clinging to one frayed thread. Whenever the sky blows out, it's just another nail in his coffin as a coach. And each time Angel doesn't appear, on the nail becomes stuck in both ends of the court, pounded a bit more deeply.
So I had to spin the block. Tyler Marsh, it's time to go. You still have no game plan for the Chicago Sky. And it seems like the games where you're only running offense through Camilla and you don't have offense at least through somebody else is no plan for that. They're getting blown out extremely bad. I don't understand it. Not to mention, I'm trying to I've noticed also a lot of the pre-games and post-game interviews where the media will ask you about Angel. Like, let's just say today in specific, one of the people asked you during halftime or while you was on the court, and they asked you why Angel had no field goal attempts. Your response was, well, everybody has to be aggressive.
However, she is requesting more media here. More attention than the squad actually wins, perhaps unavailable by 20, and the transmission is focusing on Angel's response like she is in charge of the entire mess from the sidelines. And perhaps she's just not in the manner that a star ought to be. Isn't this the truth that she entered? Amongst the cacophony, the excitement, and the viral traction, and she's currently going away in real time, not even playing long enough to have an effect. However, the headline that's always the paradox of celebrity in the modern day: optional branding for athletes' performances required, and they're in the league. A bind, they require stars and tickets. Sales, but they also require real basketball, and Angel is now playing like an expert on one side of that equation, while ignoring the other as if it were the Chicago Sky did not sign beneath her. Willing to participate in this influencer study, they required a player with the ability to inspire and lead control, not someone who's always popular for everything but her jump shot. The more loses accrue, the examination, and there's only the player can continue to spin the "I'm still modifying the story" before people begin looking at the box score and understanding not much is changing at the moment. The learning curve is now linear, and it's aimed directly at the bench. Consequently, when the Sky struggles to through yet another unmemorable loss and the sideline is paced by Coach Marsh like a man looking for a way to restart his life sitting on a bench, Angel Reese is branded and confusingly aloof.
Yeah, I think that we got a couple players that are banged up, so we want to be mindful of minutes. I think that when the game got out of hand there midway through the third, for us there was more preservation at that point. And players were almost at their limit anyway, being on a back-to-back, and so we wanted to be mindful of that. And if the game wasn't as out of hand, then maybe it would have looked different. But we got to be healthy and ready to go into Atlanta tomorrow. We got 3 games in 4 days with LA on that following Tuesday. So we got to be mindful of having healthy bodies so that we can give as good of an effort as we can going into tonight.
And the fans aren't stupid; they perceive and sense the energy off the dubious endeavor, and the results are more powerful than any Instagram post caption could ever do now. It's not about holding out for her to get up, but about questioning whether she truly wants to, because if we've learned anything this season, its likes are not boxed out by clout. Recover, and no amount of publicity can hide a stat sheet Angel that is missing. Maybe trying to get MVP vibes, but for now she is unable to leave her role as a star. Requested that the Angel be benched and branded. Reese's tale, and right when you expected it, Angel Ree couldn't get any messier. Made the decision to level up outside of the gym. Not studying movies, and most certainly not on defense, no. She's working hard on social media. Media, such as The Season, is dependent on Instagram stories and retweets if your busy points were given based on how quickly someone may update the page for the All-Star vote. Her average would be treble-double. Angel is participating in another sport. She's not pursuing victories at all. Instead, she's pursuing a Wi-Fi bar as the Sky collapses. The vibe of Angel is like stale old toast. Laser-focused on creating flawless, selecting only the appropriate emojis for captions, and ensuring her most recent tunnel walk receives more likes than the points her team has, because, when in doubt, forget to post it. analyzing the game, or closing in on schemes scrolling through filters with a tape Angel quicker than her defensive runback at her phone screen time is the highest at this pace. Just a rising trending statistic.
So, also, Angel Reese, not gonna hate. She got a triple-double on 28% shooting. She went 2 for 7 for the field. She shot 7 free throws. She had 10 points or 11 points, something like that. But honestly, if I was this guy, that would be the most Angel Reese would shoot a game, is about 7 shots.
Her all-star appears more like a TikTok campaign. Marketing plan as opposed to a basketball resume. You would assume she was vying for Instagram's mayor isn't attempting to make a position among the top players in the league, but since reality is so obvious, she is more worried. Using engagement metrics as opposed to plus-minus statistics as veterans battle tooth and nail and use perseverance to win votes. Angel is out here running a performance. Content calendar as if she were overseeing as she has the audacity to open a pop-up business. To appear shocked when admirers and detractors raise an eyebrow as though individuals are simply intended to ignore the reality that her this season's highlight reel might be a Snapchat, and an outfit selection slideshow filters if every choice of stars were based on she would already be a starter on hashtags. Sadly, though, the league still insists on taking into account your actual basketball. Her teammates are out there in the meantime, attempting to endure the pandemonium while appearing as every time tax season just ended. As they leave the court, Angel is as if it were prom queen season. Campaigning vote for me posts were more impactful than she's lobbying harder with her mid-range game. Compared to a politician during an election season, but more pouty, and with less policy, no time for studying games because of selfies video while you're too preoccupied with studying your dashboard for analytics, and that's the she isn't focused on treating the root of it. Rotations that enhance footwork or improving her team's performance in capturing material that becomes widely shared prior to as the fourth quarter comes to an end. Brand prior to ball energy and the absence of supporters blind. They perceive the disparity, and I'm curious how someone so connected online gaming can be so disconnected.
Let me say that. One thing I like about Tyler Marsh, I listened to like some audio sound of him at practice, and he talked about taking advantage of mismatches and taking advantage of open shots.
Yes.
Look. Stop letting teams off the hook. Chicago Sky did that too much last season. Letting teams off the hook on 4-on-1 fast breaks, open threes. Nah, you come and sit down. So I like that Tyler Marsh said that. You can tell he's going to be having some accountability with made shots.
Even coach Marsh appears to be observing a reality show as shown on his bench. He's attempting to regroup for a moment after another defensive outburst, followed by the following: he is in the middle of taking a selfie. Tweeting the loss almost in real time, at he's most likely thinking about this point. Giving her a ring light rather than a clipboard. The league is crazy. Need marketable celebrities that they desire someone with a fiery personality who can bring the sound, but it was intended to represent the bonus. Angel's out of the whole package here. Sizzle is served without a steak flash. Despite having no finish, she's still pretending that she is the all-star spot born right, as though the algorithm by itself will save the funniest section of her stat line. She is mobilizing support for a game that she may not even have a significant role in if she is admitted. What will she do? Alter her Instagram bio in the middle of the day to represent her choice, since that's regarding the sole change we're observing. The others are the usual old defense no-shows. Missed rebounds and sped-up rotations such as their scorching lava, and each time when the sky is blown away. The contrast gets more agonizing reactions from other players, their losses with perseverance and extended hours of silence. The mirror Angel answers with a genuine "will be back," set to contemporary music. Enhanced caption when observing the following game's first 5 minutes. She's using accountability as a publicity stunt, incorporating game day and strategy into a photo session.
I'm not a fan of Angel Reese, but I will say the hate over this is kind of crazy. Chicago Sky might not be able to recover from this because they are receiving so much hate from the fact that after her bad performance, according to her coach, she is officially being dropped from Chicago Sky's starting lineup. Now, mind y'all, I think that this coach is new, but there was a little bit of an article that said that she was pulled from the starting lineup after a blowout loss to the Indiana Fever. Now, mind y'all, they always lose to the Fever, but I think in this case it was so bad because she performed way worse than she typically does, and Caitlin Clark didn't even play. Even says that sources report that after her having frustration due to missed layups.
The All-Star discussion ought to be about power rather than about who has the most devoted following on social media following, and Angel is taking advantage of it in a fans of the pro are tweeting in droves. Influencers supporting her as if she were a product launch, and all of a sudden going back to nothing at all on the court that she is promoting a variant of herself, who has not appeared this season. It's all performance and potential. Worry, no outcomes. Just the league sentiments is receiving real-time punches. The highlight performances are few and far between. Selfies are endless, but wins are few. It's a distraction masterclass where basketball isn't given nearly as much attention. She seems like she's getting ready for a fashion show. Weak runway as opposed to the upcoming tip-off, and the most depressing aspect of it is working at the casuals who haven't, at least, examined a box score since the start of the season. Her teammates are dragging in the interim themselves in a further 30-point defeat, and Angel has the post-game already ready to go with a sketchy caption, but inspiring, most likely with a hint of glitz. The word grind and an emoji were added for taste, since nothing conveys a sense of authority similar to withdrawing from the starting lineup while vigorously promoting the vote of fans. Additionally, don't even bring up practicing, which is merely a side project. Now comes the actual effort. Occurs before a ring light where criticism and lighting are crucial. Is blocked more quickly than a feeble layup. She isn't improving her jump shot. She is always improving her angles. Someone asks her why she blogs. Anything even more carefully chosen to demonstrate what precisely.
You've gotten to work with some really great coaches, Nick Nurse, Rick Carlisle in the NBA, Becky Hammon in the W as well. What have you taken from them that you've instilled here now?
Yeah, I think just the ability to adapt, the ability to think outside of the box, and the fearlessness to do so. I think that, whether it's experimenting with different lineups or putting in a different system that fits kind of the personnel that you have, I think that you got to be adaptable and available to try out new things, because it's a tough league to win in, and so your ability to kind of have attention to detail and kind of separate yourselves from the rest of
the figures don't lie, but they don't trend at all. So rather, we receive carefully selected image dumps and sassy words from a footballer regarding hustle who hasn't worked hard enough for if the All-Star game had a four-quarter, she would fall under the content creator category. Captain, although in real basketball, the scoreboard is not as loud as silence. And the pressure is now on due to the although votes may be cast, the receipts are stacking up as well. Should she infiltrate, everyone's eyes are on that all-star lineup. To focus on her rather than merely observe what her attire would make people desire to determine whether the hype is sustained if the filters correspond with the video, if the face of the campaign can truly bear her burden. When the illumination is most intense, and spoiler alert, she is not holding a phone. Watchful, unless something significantly alterations, they will be let down. Since it's impossible to blast your way out of, you can't spin criticism with selfies. Turning bench time into recognition, unless the league has just begun giving out awards. Awards for influence, and you're unquestionably unable to manage a group when you're more preferring likes over layups. Angel may be dominating the internet, but still played basketball in the gym.